Sometimes, no matter how hard you push, life just feels like you're stuck in a hamster wheel. Running, but never really getting anywhere. You get caught in that exhausting loop of trying to do it all, constantly feeling like your self-worth is tied to how much you accomplish. It's like you're locked in a never-ending tug of war with the universe, pulling and pushing against whatever obstacles come your way. But in all that chaos, it's easy to forget something pretty simple. The magic happens when you stop fighting and just let life flow. This is where the philosophy of Wu Wei comes in. Wu Wei, an ancient Chinese concept that literally means effortless action, teaches us to act in harmony with the natural order of things, what the Taoists call the Tao. The Tao is kind of like the universe's instruction manual. Everything is meant to flow in a certain rhythm. When you stop trying so hard to force things, you realize the beauty of allowing life to unfold naturally. Now, Wu Wei doesn't mean doing absolutely nothing. Some people think it's just about kicking back and taking naps all day, but that's not it at all. It's about moving with the current, not against it. Lao Tzu, the old wise sage behind Taoism, warned that using force to control things doesn't just cause problems in the moment. It creates invisible issues down the line. And he wasn't just talking about physical force. He meant the urge to impose your will on everything around you, to micromanage every single little detail. Life's rhythm isn't about control, it's about dancing with what is. Nature, with all its unpredictable twists and turns, is constantly renewing and creating, like the steady beat of a drum. Lao Tzu believed that the secret to peace and progress is aligning yourself with that beat, not trying to set the tempo yourself. And yet, how often do we glorify hard work, even when it's just spinning our wheels? We celebrate the hustle and bustle of constant activity, even if it's not really getting us anywhere. Sometimes we just keep busy for the sake of being busy, pushing rocks uphill without ever stopping to ask if that's the right mountain to climb. But there's a difference between working hard and working smart. Yes, there are times when you have to roll up your sleeves and put in the effort. But there are other times when it's better to just let go and trust the process. Life is unpredictable. You can't control the weather, the stock market, or the actions of others. And when you try to force things, you only end up trapped in a cycle of frustration and burnout. Wu Wei isn't about being lazy. It's about finding the rhythm of life and knowing when to act and when to rest. When you're constantly pushing against the current, you waste precious time and energy, overthinking everything and blaming yourself or others when things don't go your way. But when you let life unfold naturally, goals can be achieved with ease, almost as if the universe is giving you a helping hand. It's like Alan Watts said, rowing a boat is a lot of effort, like fighting against the current. But sailing? Sailing is about letting the wind do the work for you, effortlessly catching the breeze and gliding forward with grace. Picture a river rushing down a mountain. It doesn't stop to fight the boulders in its way. No, it flows around them, finding the smoothest path forward, carving out beautiful landscapes as it goes. There's a lesson to be learned from that river. When you stop forcing things, when you let life take its natural course, you might just find yourself sailing instead of rowing. So, no, Wu Wei doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to magically happen. It means knowing when it's time to act and when it's time to step back and trust the flow. You don't have to fight every battle. Sometimes the best way to achieve what you want is to simply allow it to happen. And when you do, that's when life feels like it's working with you, not against you. In judo, you don't just rely on raw muscle power. No, it's all about timing and finesse. You don't go in swinging and hoping for the best. You wait for that perfect moment when your opponent is off balance, vulnerable. And then, with just a flick of strength, you toss them to the mat. It's about using just the right amount of force at just the right time. That's how you make your moves count without wasting energy. You've got to be smart, not just strong. It's kind of like life, isn't it? The trick is in the details. Doing less but doing it right. You don't need to throw everything you've got into every situation. Instead, think of it like this. Use just enough energy, time, and effort to get where you need to go. Not being lazy, just being efficient. It's like cutting down on the noise and zeroing in on what really matters. That way, you're not just burning yourself out. You're setting yourself up for success without all the stress. Now picture this. You've got an important interview coming up. The pressure's on, and you might be thinking, I need to be perfect. But instead of tightening up and forcing yourself to be on all the time, take a breath. Step back, relax, and let go of all that pressure. That's the heart of Wu Wei, being in sync with life, moving with it, rather than pushing against it. There are things you can't control, like the questions, the outcome, or the mood of the interviewer. But what you can control is how you show up. Trust your prep, trust your abilities, and let the interview flow. You don't need to force it. Instead of trying to dazzle the interviewer, be yourself. Listen intently, respond with confidence, and let the conversation unfold naturally. You'll find that when you stop trying so hard, things often click into place much more smoothly. Even if it doesn't go exactly how you planned, guess what? Letting go can sometimes lead to even better results than you imagined. It's like the river that doesn't fight its way through rocks. It just finds the path of least resistance, carving out beauty along the way. So how does this relate to the bigger picture? By working with the flow, not against it, you can make progress without the pressure. You can get through the task at hand without all the stress, and maybe even feel more proud of yourself for the ease with which you handled it. And here's the thing. When you focus less on the outcome and more on the moment, you open yourself up to so many possibilities. It's like opening the door to the universe's magic, and it's ready to take you places. If you've stuck with me this far, I've got one favor to ask. It would really mean the world to me if you could share this and leave a comment. Your support is the fuel that keeps me going, and I truly appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time, and I really hope your day turns out to be amazing.